Well, guys, finally got it. I ended up taking a pair of vice grips and clipping it to it. And, you know, we're going to go over here to the shop now. Hell, it's not much of a shop, but got to do what you got to do. I ain't got money to put a concrete floor in the barn yet, but that's all right. Once I get some money up and so on and so forth, we'll go through that. But right now, what we're going to do, I'm going to set you down. Hopefully where you're stable and you can see. Well, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, y'all can see that vice down. So what I'm gonna do is I've turned this bolt inside these vice grips. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this clamp it down. Get my handy dandy grinder. Come over here, plug her in. Watch your ears, it's gonna be loud. Always use safety glasses. Always make sure that your grinder is completely stopped before you set it down. But what I did is I went ahead and grinded a groove in it. So that way I can put my put a regular screwdriver on it now and finish putting the headlight bucket in the driver's side of the Jeep. Now remember, that bolt's going to be hot, so you don't want to be touching it for a few minutes after you cut it. But that's all right. Time for a little bit of refreshment here. Coffee. So, my headlight bucket doesn't look so great right now. Got the old one out and put back in. But my problem is that I don't have the money to just run out and buy new bolts and stuff like that. I live on a set income, so money's pretty tight. This is what I get to work with. Yeah, it's not the best, but I try to make do with what I got. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and set y'all down, see if we can get this screw in here. Let me find something to set you on. Got you all set up. Whew. Cold in the mornings. Starts to get really warm by 10 o'clock. Kind of crazy. I hope this works, because like I said, I don't have the money to go out and get more. You dumb thing. Oh yeah, that should work great. So there's a groove here in the top of the headlight bezel, but you gotta get that thing in. Got her in. Now, to line it up with the screw hole. Got that all lined up. Now, start turning it in. Now mind you guys, we can't put it all the way in until we have the headlight in and everything else so we can start adjusting it. Sure like Phillips screws, but in a pinch this works. On the other one, I'll be able to show you better on how this all assembles. For any of you that need to change out a headlight bucket. Well, it's in there. So, I'm gonna go over here and grab the other headlight bucket and we'll start on that one. Hopefully these come out. Heck of a lot easier. Oh, it's got a strip one too. Well, crud. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Come with me. And to remove this other bucket, you gotta take that screw out and that screw out. Looking at it, that thing is stripped. So we'll end up having to do the same thing with the other one. See the little spring there? So the easiest way I have found to get these out is don't worry about that spring yet. Get that screw out, and then you see how it's got the grooved notch in there? It'll let that come out without having to unscrew that screw. Now let's hope we can take this one out without stripping it. So let's find out. I'm gonna set y'all up again. Yeah, my holder don't work worth a dang. Alright, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. Now to find a Phillips screwdriver. Had my kids out here helping me, and this is what they leave me. Kind of nice. Yeah. Okay. Aha, Phillips. Or Cross, or what have you. But let's go ahead and get in here to this screw and go ahead and see if we can get it out without stripping it out. Because that's just my luck. Another stripped one. Well, seems to be coming out pretty easy. Well, I think that's screwed out all the way, or at least as much as it's gonna let me. So now, yep. See how that just popped loose? That spring's still on there, but if you wiggle it around, take you a pair of pliers and just barely, it probably has no tension, so you just pop it off like that. Now this is a little bit more trickier, is getting that out. So there's one headlight. Here's the other headlight bucket. Now I could go through and clean it all up, but why? This old Jeep, it sees the road and more crap than I'd like to admit. But let's go ahead and finish taking this screw out now. All right, she's out. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, on these screws, if you can see, it does have a hex on the back, but most of them are so rounded off that they're a pain to even try to do anything with. So we're gonna go ahead and put some WD-40 on there. Try to get this one to release like the other one did. Now I could just pop it out through the back like so. I could take bracket and all. But then I have to take the bracket and all out of that one, and maybe that's what I'll do, because that's not broken or anything else. But see what I meant about being stripped out? That dude is stripped. So, ow. I'm gonna go on back to the shop and we'll grind it out like we did the other one. All right, here we go. I am going to go ahead and do this in a little bit different, only because I forgot my vice grips in the other shop, and I just downright lazy and don't want to go get it again. So we'll just go ahead and close this vise all the way down on the screw. Make sure that you're actually going in to your cross, following the same direction. Makes it easier to grind out. But it only takes a few seconds to grind them out. Remember, safety glasses. Let it come to a stop, always, before you set it down. Now here's the part that I'm not gonna like. It's not too hot. We'll go ahead and grab it. So it's not perfect, but it works. All right, let's head on back to the other shop. So since that was pretty much set for my other Jeep, I'm actually going to try pop this bracket out, and it'll be a lot easier to put back together. But that also means that I have to get inside the hood and unlatch everything. All right, let me get you set up. Hang on. Well, how did I do this last time? All right. Back to what I was doing. Now we got to clean off the hood. Get everything off of here so we can open it up. Now, my hood's a little bit of a pain in the ass right now because the bottom bolt doesn't fit right. I've actually got to take it back off, weld it, put it back in. That'll be another video. But if you notice, the entire hood just shook a little bit. The entire front shook. It still has to get some braces and stuff like that, but one thing at a time. Haha, that came out pretty easy. So, let's see if this will go in pretty easy. And voila, that's in. I'm gonna go grab the spring and the other screw. Well, so, guys, remember, these things get old. They get rusty, they get dirty. Go ahead and spray some WD-40 on it. If you want to, go ahead and hit it with the wire wheel on the bench grinder, but I find WD-40 works the best. If you start taking out too much, go ahead and start it. I know this is different from the way we did the other side, but that's all right. So here's that little spring. What it does is it goes inside those two little holes, just like this. Whoa, almost dropped you. That might have hurt. But that's where that spring goes. Right there. Okay. Now, we're going to try to put that bucket back in. Now, hang on. Oh, y'all can't see nothing. So, the best way that I found, there's a little groove right here. And that groove is where that spring goes. So, take your bucket at an angle, reach up through here, and just put that spring right back in its place. Now this has to be one of the hardest things about this entire Jeep, is getting this stuff all lined back up. I mean, if I'd taken the screw out, it would, well, there went my upper bolt. Whatever. We'll get that here in a minute. I'm going ahead and just taking this screw out because after soaking it in WD-40 and heating it up, it came loose a lot easier. So, this is that slot I was talking about. Slides right in like so. Go ahead back. Don't get your finger stuck in there like I just did. That's an amateur move, and that's alright. I'm an amateur. Go ahead and come over here and get your screwdriver. Might as well get both of them same time, because you're going to need that Phillips. Doggone it. That screw didn't fall all the way to the floor, so now I get to look around. Aha. Found it caught around the steering box. Now it fell to the floor. Ground. Whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this a little bit. Well, crud. Popped right out. Ain't supposed to do that. I guess they're kind of loose until you get the screw back in them. And it pushes out those two little ears. Alright, there's those two. You can go ahead and slide this one into its spot. Grab a Phillips screwdriver. Now, one thing I did notice while putting these things back in, better reach down here every now and then, pull that spring a little bit so that way it releases some and doesn't bind. Well, there we go. Alright guys, that headlight bucket's in. I'll bring you back later this evening when we go through and we'll go ahead and wire it and put the headlight back in, and I'll show you how to adjust them. Y'all have a good day. Have any comments about what I'm doing, please let me know.